when you say Google, Amazon, or McKinsey or BCG,
Right.
like they even encourage you to use AI to polish polish your resume and then to make it sound nicer.
I feel like it takes away a lot of personality and your own character from the application, but there's no other choice. Like you kind of just have to use it now.
You are listening to the Connected podcast, coming to you from the heart of Taipei, in which we get personal on news and issues that connect us all in Taiwan and around the world. Now, being a recent graduate was never easy. Navigating career choices, going through recruitment processes, all while trying to figure out yourself and what you want to do in the future. Arguably, graduating these days has become a lot more difficult than it was in my day, more years ago than I'm willing to admit on camera. That's why today I have with me two young people who are either very recent graduates or are about to graduate. Sarita Long, who graduated from the London School of Economics, and Josh Lee, who is about to finish his program at the National Taiwan University. So I want to start with asking, what has been your experience so far trying to look for work, trying to decide what you want to do, and going through internships? I know Sarita has quite a bit of experience in that already. So what has your experience been so far?
My experience has been weird because I'm really trying to put off getting a job for as long as possible. So after I graduated, I really didn't know what to do because I didn't have a job lined up. And I know that I want to do my master's, but I wanted a year in between because I graduated a little bit early. I was just like, I know a bit of Mandarin. Why not take a Mandarin course? So I'm taking a course right now at the Chinese Culture University.
You say that you've been avoiding, actually getting your career off the ground. Do you find that you have a lot of classmates here who came to study Mandarin who are in a similar situation?
So there are only 3 other students in my class. One of them is currently in university, taking like a transfer year. And then the other 2 are uni students as well. So I'm the only graduate, but it seems like it's not really something people do after they graduate. It's more like they take a course while they're in uni.
Well, Josh, what about you? Have you started getting your feet wet in the job market, interning and such?
I got my first intern was like May 2025. It's in the business consulting industry, and I think I'm like quite lucky because you land into quite a prestigious company for your first intern position, but still it's intern and you got no return offer for that. So like now is campus hire season, like you're doing like crazy online assessments, going through interviews, and it's like very hectic, and you're gonna prepare for like case interviews the whole day, and it's like very brain draining and tiring.
Well, okay, let's talk about the recruitment process and how it looks like right now. So you said the crazy online questionnaires. Why do you call them crazy? What's crazy about them?
Although it's a online assessment, it shouldn't be that stressful, but you can compare that to some sort of like GRE or GMAT, stuff like that. You're asking math in an English manner, since English is not my mother tongue, so it's like even harder. And then you're going to deal with data analysis, you're going to deal with like some online interview stuffs. Basically, you'll have to ponder every word before you speak out. You don't use English like that normally. And from a Taiwanese perspective, you don't even use English in your daily life. So like turning into that sort of environment like in 30 minutes and you'll have to like fully concentrate, you don't want to do that.
Sarita, what about you? Have you gone through online questionnaires, surveys? What's the craziest thing you had to fill out online to get an internship?
Okay, there's nothing crazy. It's pretty similar. I've done a personality test. I've done just like a questionnaire. Why do you want to do this job? What skills do you have to bring to it?
What was the personality test that you had to take? Do you feel it was measuring your aptitude for the job, or was it actually personal, as in like, what would you do in this hypothetical, completely unrelated to your work kind of situation?
So there were a lot of personal questions, but you can kind of tell that they want you to gear it towards what the company wants. So I know that a lot of my friends, when they do personality tests, they either use AI or they just look up what the company values are, and they kind of try to align with that. But then I've also talked to my friends about how that kind of doesn't work sometimes for them. So it either goes really well or really badly. And that's always just the first stage. You have to get past that to get to the interview. You really have to focus on like what do they want from me, and how can I show that in a way that doesn't seem like I know that they want that.
Have you taken similar personality tests or had similar questions?
Like, of course. I mean, like, I can quite resonate with that, actually. There was a question asking about family and your like junior high school life, but you're just trying to craft the answers into a very business oriented way.
Right.
Like you have to star the questions. Like STAR is a very common framework when you're talking about interviews, like situation, task,
I've heard of this.
action, and then results, so that you're going to answer how your family impacts you or influences you in a like very STAR manner. I mean, it's a little bit interesting, but like to think it more positively, it is actually a very great time to reflect on yourself and to like really think about how you grow up and then what makes you become the person that you are, right?
So, you know, you're describing family vacation, basically following the STAR model. Results-oriented family vacation.
Data-driven insights.
Data-driven insights. Well, speaking of data-driven, Sarita, you mentioned that some of your classmates are using AI to answer those surveys or, you know, fill out questionnaires. And have you used AI in the recruitment process to, I don't know, maybe run your cover letter through it or kind of spruce up your CV a little bit?
Well, I hope this doesn't ruin my chances of ever getting a job.
No, I think everyone's doing it. That's why I'm asking.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I don't know anyone that doesn't use AI in their job applications, even if it's just to look up the job. I think a lot of the time it's AI that's going through the first couple of applications if it's not an interview. I mean, I do this myself. You go through what they're asking for the job requirements, you put it into AI, and then it spits out like what they're looking for, kind of keywords, vocab to use in your application. Because it's really just a big machine going through it and picking out keywords and deciding whether you're the right candidate.
Well, it's interesting because it's probably AI that is then reading all the submissions. So it's AI talking to other AI, trying to filter out candidates. Josh, do you use AI in recruitment?
I mean, like, of course. And
I'm sorry for asking.
I mean, like, even from those like top firms, when you say Google, Amazon, or McKinsey or BCG, right, like they even encourage you to use AI to polish polish your resume and then to make it sound nicer and with the STAR framework somehow. And I think that it makes quite a bit sense because you're showcasing yourself in the best way that you can, so that if you make grammatical errors or mistakes, it would be looking bad.
That's really interesting because I have kind of the opposite view. I feel like it takes away a lot of personality and your own character from the application, but there's no other choice. Like you kind of just have to use it now.
Yeah, I would imagine that it kind of makes most cover letters feel and read samey, right? Because it's all strictly following the requirements of the job. And if I were hiring people, I would kind of like to see a little bit of personal flair in there. But if even big tech companies are encouraging using Gen AI in the recruitment process, then I guess that's what they are looking for. Which leads me to my next question: do you feel that companies are increasingly looking for people who can use generative AI in their work?
I would say yes, and I would like to jump a little bit back to the previous question. Using AI is important, but how you are going to use AI is more important. So that basically you wouldn't just copy and paste the first response that ChatGPT or like Gemini or Perplexity gives to you. You will basically be interacting with them a lot of times to make the generated content more of you inside the content. From a non-native speaker, I think this is a very useful tool because you wanted to put your content in a more Josh way, but it leads to some grammatical errors or mistakes, or even like it isn't the way how native speakers are presenting themselves. But you have to look professional. So it is like a, how to say that?
Contradiction?
a necessary evil.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the word. So the best case scenario is that you don't use AI. You are very productive. You could do every words and every sentence on your own. But the fact is that you don't have a lot of time for that. Now, 2025, everybody is running so fast. The road is running so fast. And you're going to do like 10 things at the same time.
so using AI in recruitment is one thing, but AI is casting a very long shadow on like everything that is happening in workspaces and education, pretty much our whole lives. Do you feel like AI has kind of influenced your career choices? Your 3 internships, how related to AI were they? Were you like targeting that, or was it a more diverse kind of set of experiences?
For this company called Roundglass, and they were doing a data survey on longevity, and it had something like 24,000 respondents and 26 countries. So we have this massive graph in English and all of those other languages, and I was supposed to analyze it and find some kind of way that it relates to media or some kind of insights that we could release to the news. And for someone that studied philosophy, that was really not my field. So I tried to use AI to kind of go through it. But the thing with AI is you really have to target how you use it. You can't just put like a massive sheet into ChatGPT and be like, give me like 3 things that are good about this sheet. You have to give it targeted questions, and I didn't have any targeted questions because I had no idea what I was doing. So I put in the sheet into AI and got a lot of answers. I went into my first meeting and then I was like, oh, maybe I should double check this information. I go and it's made all of it up. It's just given me completely like made up numbers to present in my meeting. So I didn't really have anything to give in my meeting. But that's like really the problem with AI. I had like a class on the ethics of AI, and we learned this thing called the black box theory.
Right.
I think you guys might know what it is. Yeah.
Oh, well, you can explain it to our listeners though.
So it's, if you think of a black box, you know what goes in and you know what goes out, but you don't know what's happening inside the box. And that's the problem with AI. It's almost like a person in that you can hear what they say, but you don't know what's going on in their head. So the problem with using AI for the data analysis that I was doing was that I had no idea the process that it was going through, and that really messed it up. Should I talk about my other internships?
Yeah, no, please. Yeah.
Okay, so I did another internship for a dating app. It was a startup dating app. And I was kind of doing PR for it, I guess, within my university. So they had students from 5 London universities, and we were each supposed to promote the app within our university and also try to set up like a party at the university to promote the app, where we would be giving out free drinks if they downloaded the app and if they matched with someone. So
Sounds like a pretty sweet internship.
it was great, and I got paid well.
I thought you would be like a barista or something.
I was.
Oh, okay.
I was that as well. But yeah, I didn't really use AI for that one because it was more just emailing a lot. Actually, I did use AI for that. I think
There you go.
I can't write an email by myself anymore. Like I need to write the email and then put it into AI and be like, does this sound right? I don't know if you have that problem.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, I do that a lot during work, or like just like daily conversation with professors, like through emails or even line text message. You'll have to go into AI, like, please check the grammar and then refine the sentence, and then it will give you a like better polished version. And then you could even customize your AI agent for them to like customize the tone to like make it more Josh, so that everything would be looking more human. And one thing that I would like to like step out from this topic and then to talk about like my background and probably Sarita's background. Like she is from philosophy, I guess, and then I'm from political science. But now
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah, but like now what both of us are doing are all data, are all generative AI, are all technology. So like see how generative AI or technology has influencing the people. Like even for non-STEM students, we're all pursuing those technology stuffs. And I think this is one of the changes which is quite influential, but not a lot of people has mentioned.
When you communicate with your peers, do you also run it through AI first, or do your friends get you unfiltered?
Friends just send grammatical error messages.
Yeah.
It's fine for that, but like when you're doing it in a professional way, you will be using that. Like for example, like in the company that that I'm currently working right now, they got their own AI agent. And then there is one agent called tone of voice. So basically, when you're going to try to send a message out there, you will be like copy and pasting the words into the tone of voice agent so that it will be generating text that matches the firm's tone of voice. And I think it's like very interesting. And it's
so
very
dystopian.
Okay, so you think that's dystopian as well?
No, because I'm just wondering, everyone is using that.
At least from my experience, my supervisor is using it. I am using it. Some of my peers are using it. And I think it's quite convenient in some way. Like you don't have to like really think about how you're going to make the words structured in a very beautiful way, because what in the company we're mainly dealing with accurate data or stuff like that. So what is more important is actually clear communication. And through the help of AI, we could definitely make our points delivered in a clearer manner.
With the voice that you want, right?
Yeah.
So you can write an email saying like, "Dear HR, I disagree with your decision," and then ask AI to make it 10 times more angry.
Probably.
Oh, it goes the other way.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
probably
Well,
the
then it's
other
not for
way,
me.
yeah.
The entire job landscape is changing because of AI. So Sarita, you already told us about how that influenced your first steps into the job market, into your career. Josh, what about you? Are you thinking about like AI when you think about future career choices, in the sense of which jobs are going to disappear, which jobs will still be around in 10 years with the advent of AI?
I wouldn't be thinking that far because I'm just a student, but like from my perspective,
but you're about to graduate.
Yes, but I think that I don't even know that whether I have a job in the future. So I think what matters to me more is that how can you demonstrate the capability of you using AI or integrating AI into work? And I think that is some sort of skills that probably the recruiters or the company would expect those graduates to have.
So yeah, would you avoid certain types of internships or certain jobs because they might not be around in 5 years? So why bother with this kind of experience?
I'm gonna be honest. If I get paid, I'm gonna take what I can get. Yeah.
Glad to hear some things don't change. It was the same in my generation. But things like, translation, right? Even copywriting, copy editing, graphic design, they're disappearing. If someone offered to pay you to do copy editing or translation, would you even bother at this point in time?
100% I would. But I think that's, you kind of like hit the nail on the head with what AI is doing. It's raising jobs and it's raising entry-level jobs.
Right.
So in the UK, I don't know if it's the same here, they just don't want graduates anymore. I think I saw a stat that said like, do you use Indeed?
Indeed is like LinkedIn in a...
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So in Taiwan, it's not Indeed, but there is there are platforms like Indeed.
Okay. Yeah. So Indeed is basically like LinkedIn. And I saw a stat that said roles for recent graduates had dropped by 33%.
Wow.
Which is crazy because there's so many new grads and more people are going to university than ever. But they just don't want us because they need to train us and they can use AI for the like grunt work now.
Well, I mean, at some point it will have to change because, people who are still working in these fields, they will retire and age out. Yeah. The problem is that that a lot of experts raise alarms about is that there might not be anyone, left to train new hires when they're actually needed. And the transmission of know-how will be impeded just because, right now companies are not taking people in. What advice would you give yourselves if you could talk to yourselves when you were starting university or even earlier in high school? Would you warn your younger self about AI? Would you make different choices?
I think I'll learn computer programming earlier.
Why? That's disappearing as well. It's all about vibe coding these days.
It's about vibe coding, but like understanding how AI structures the code and how to explain what AI is producing. I think that is some sort of competencies that the people right now that they should have. And then I think that it would be applying to every single career that would be in the future. I mean, like everybody is now integrating AI in their work, but how to utilize AI and how to make AI as your partner is not what people could be very good at tackling these days. And then I think that everyone is on the path of learning right now.
That's interesting. I agree. I really think that people should be taught how to use AI. For me, when ChatGPT came out, it was the first year of university. I don't know, same for you?
It's my second year.
Yeah, but basically my whole experience with university was like entangled with AI because of that. As I said before, you can't just put in a question into AI and then expect it to give you a genius answer. You have to target it.
Yeah.
And knowing the kind of words to use, the kind of vocabulary, the kind of grammar, I think would be so useful. But that's not really something that I could tell myself. That's more just a general wish.
You know what's funny? When I was your age, about years ago, I was hearing the same thing. Oh, you should learn coding. Just learn coding. That's going to be the thing in the future. And it turned out to be only partially true because, yeah, there was a lot of hype about, having computer skills. But that not everyone became a coder. Not everyone became a programmer. We still needed people doing all kinds of jobs that did not rely on code. Do you think that there is an element of hype or is that whole AI situation overhyped a little bit? And, do you see any signs of like, hey, there's still work out there that needs to be done by real people without AI?
I think there are a lot of people jobs right now, actually. And then I would say that the demand is actually growing higher. For example, social works, counseling, like people are now facing some sort of like depression every day. So that it is actually facing a increased demand on these kind of, it's bad to say industry because they are people job, but I believe that if you go to the College of Social Science, you will see a lot of people still having passion about what they're doing right now, because whether it's with AI or without AI, I think the core is actually the people itself. If we don't deal with people in the future in our careers, then what are we? So I think it is a really important question that we will have to think about.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think AI will ever completely replace any job. Maybe like the very, very low jobs.
Yeah.
But I guess it's like how we can work with AI and how we can use it.
Yes.
And they need people that can do that.
Speaking of, how people feel and well, you mentioned that more and more people might need a therapist now or soon. How is your generation kind of faring on average? When you talk to your friends, when you talk to your peers, are people hopeful about the future?
I mean, like everyone is anxious about their future. Like
Everyone's depressed.
Yeah, like I believe in LSE, everybody is very anxious about their job, and so in NTU. I mean, like NTU is the best school in Taiwan, but still everybody are very worried about whether they could be getting a decent job or decent pay. I think a lot of people in NTU would be like, hey, I am already in NTU. I don't want to go for a job that is just like lowest salary pay, like go into the convenience store to be some sort of workers that have to work for 9 hours a day. I'm not saying that they are not important. From a NTU student perspective, we don't want to be landing into that kind of work. We have like very high expectation on ourselves. And sometimes that kind of expectation would make us topple in some way because we are not meeting our own expectation, and neither are we meeting the expectation of the like bigger social ambience.
It's interesting. I was at a convenience store once many years ago, and it was late at night, and the clerk was kind of curious about me and like, hey, you're a foreigner, you come here a lot. He asked me what I was doing, and I told him I was a student at GenZ.
Oh, so, NCCU.
Yes. So he asked me, you're studying at NCCU? Yeah. And he told me he was an NCCU graduate as well. Cool, I say. Which department? History. I was a history department graduate. It's like, oh, okay. It is, like you say, I mean, a lot of jobs will still be necessary. How is the nature of the jobs that your peers, people in your year, your friends are going for or are looking for or are finding? How is all that changing?
So even though a lot of us have done internships while in university, it's just really hard to get a job. So people are still going into internships after uni. In the UK, they do have to pay us, but they can pay you very little. So I think that's how people are kind of getting experience and then hoping to get an offer off of that. But as you said, nobody's getting offers off of those. So it's kind of just like you're just trying to take what you can get until you find your job or go to the next step.
I mean, like in Taiwan, it's actually quite a bit same. Like now is the campus hire season. And then for those like really good companies, they only give out like 2 or 3 job vacancies. But like for like 1 year, it's like 200 or 300 or even 2,000, 3,000 graduates. And then like 3,000 getting into the 10 vacancies. How difficult is that? So either you're going to be the top or either you're going to look another way out. And I think my choice is I want to be that top student. So I am like crazily studying interview prep and like those case practices like every day. I don't want to miss that chance. And I am like really hoping myself to go to that kind of big company and then to be rich somehow. But it is very difficult and it is very competitive.
So there are many different kind of responses that young people around the world have to those changes. In China, you might have heard there's the lie flat generation, let it rot, kind of like who cares anymore. People getting like stressed out to the point where they just don't want to participate in the future world. Do you see similar things happening in the UK and Taiwan?
I really don't think you can do that in London. There's such a high cost of living right now that you need a job. So a lot of my friends do part-time. You mentioned earlier the 7-Eleven guy.
Right.
If I could get a job at 7-Eleven, I think I would.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would. Yeah, it's all about trying to make money while you're still applying to other jobs so that you have some kind of source of income and you're not constantly worrying about like, where am I going to get my next paycheck? And you get to apply like with that in mind.
Gotcha. I think the tuition fee or like the living cost is not that high in Taiwan. So like, I think a lot of my peers would choose to enter graduate school if they are worried about their future career.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing.
I mean, like it's some sort of way to evade your future. And then it is actually one of my options that I am considering right now if I don't get any decent job. I don't want to put myself into 7-Eleven. I would rather choose to study for like master's or probably PhD, but I don't want to really be a researcher. I mean, like sitting onto a chair is really not a thing for me.
I might have some personal advice for you, but we'll do that later after the show.
Okay. Don't
do a PhD. What's the strangest kind of company that you thought of applying to or applied to? How far have you branched out from your career track?
I recently did an interview at it was an AI company that had its own generative AI, and the idea behind it was basically that they farm the internet for news and then provide that news to media companies and PR companies. And my job was kind of just to like, or would be kind of just to like check through, is AI giving the right thing? So I did the application and I got an interview for it. And the interview went really well. It was a remote job. And then I just never got a response. So I think that's a very common thing that's happening nowadays. You would think an AI company could use AI to generate a response, but yeah.
They couldn't even be bothered to do that.
No.
I think that is there's a term there. It's called ghosted, I guess.
Yeah.
I got ghosted.
Yeah. I mean, I got ghosted as well from like some consulting firms. I mean, like you must have heard of these firms, but like it's really hard to get in. And then I think the reason is I failed the online assessment, and then I just get ghosted.
I just think it's strange to have an interview with someone where you talk for 20 minutes face to face. Or not face-to-face, it was on Zoom, to be fair to her. And then you just never get a response. I also sent a thank you email.
I mean, I also did send some like thank you emails sorts of thing. Like, yeah.
It just doesn't, they don't really care about us, I think.
I don't know if this is going to be disappointing to you or make you feel better about your situation, but this has been the case for a while. Like I've been ghosted hundreds of times when I was looking for jobs at many points in the past decades. Do you feel that companies are getting pickier because they know that now they hold all the cards, that there are more candidates looking for work than there are openings available?
The company is really getting more picky. So for instance, in the past, for companies testing English skills, they could see your resume to know that whether you got some grammatical errors or mistakes or whether the sentence structure is decent or not. But now everything is polished by AI. So they would use other sorts of metrics to measure your English ability, for example, an online interview or a pre-recorded interview. And it is actually being more difficult, like for a non-native speaker. Think every single pieces of word before coming out your mouth, and then trying to cram the 1 minute interview the best you can.
I was just wondering if you've ever done like an AI interview.
Actually, I don't, but I do use ChatGPT to practice my English interview preparation. You turn on the AI voice function, and then it sounds really like just a human. And then you turn on your like screen, and then to do a real mock interview with the AI thing. Yeah.
And just because I have a lot of friends and I haven't had one myself, but just going through LinkedIn, you see like they detail the stages of the interviews. And the last one is a lot of the time an AI interview. So you don't even get to interview with a real person.
I mean, like, how is AI interview going to work? You are going to
pre-recorded questions. I genuinely have no clue how it works.
I mean, like, you are going to serve the company and then it's a robot that's gonna measure you. It's totally nonsense. Like, at least from my perspective, it's nonsense.
Another trend that is sort of appearing around the world is young people kind of almost giving up on higher education because of AI and instead going into more solid kind of professions that are guaranteed not to disappear. Plumber, construction worker, things that we will still definitely need in 10, 20 years. Would you give that kind of advice to a young person asking you like, hey, what should I do with my future? I'm about to graduate from high school. Or do you think that university education is still the way to go?
I mean, I'm just 21 years old. I don't know whether I am like capable of answering this question, but I would say that if you're not interested in studying, like, it's good that you be a plumber, and it's definitely making a lot of money in the future. So that's my advice.
I don't know. I feel like this is the whole arts and sciences debate all over again, and there'll probably be something similar in 20 years. I just don't think we value the arts anymore.
From my perspective, because I'm a social science student, I would say like liberal arts is very important. So it has helped me grow and become the person that I am here today. But if you like really want to quantify the value of liberal arts or social science, actually you can't. So in my resume, I will have to do a lot of extracurricular work to show the quantifying data in order to prove that I am a person that is capable of doing the job well.
Well, things are always changing, always in flux. And I kind of agree with Sarita here that it is kind of the sciences versus arts conversation all over again, except now it's formal education versus vibe learning, I guess. Okay, final question. What are your ideal future jobs?
I have a very strange answer for someone that went to LSE, but I really don't have one. I think I would describe my ideal job as a 9-to-5 where I clock in and clock out. Yeah, I just don't have a dream job, but I would like to have a job. That would be nice.
Okay.
So I don't even know that I am entitled to have a dream job, because like you have a dream, but you don't even know that whether you are like that capable of reaching that dream. Like you could be impactful, you could do some problem solving, and then you could be rich. I think like everyone wants to be impactful and everybody wants to be rich, but not a lot of people can do that. So I would say that I don't even know that I am okay to think about that sort of dream job. And even that thing comes to my head, it requires time and efforts to like to go to that sort of end goal.
Well, here's a piece of advice from someone slightly older. You are both fantastically intelligent and very talented. You really should believe in yourselves a little more because both of you deserve great jobs and great futures. Thank you again, Sarita Long and Josh Lee, for being here with me in the studio today.
Thanks a lot.
And to our viewers, what kind of impact is AI having on career choices and education in your country or location? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're down there, also do check out our main show Connected on TaiwanPlus. You can find us on our YouTube channel and the TaiwanPlus website. I'm Tomasz Koper, and I'll talk to you again next time.